Good Tuesday morning to you and welcome to another episode of Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. And Sheriff, I tell you, this is one of those shows I wish we had a full hour for, but we're going to stick it to 30 minutes.
Hey, this is a really exciting show. It's one of the things that, we don't talk a whole lot about. We should talk more about the well-being of our deputies, the job they do each and every day, our correction staff, what they're involved with in our detention facility, the stressors they're engaged with. And sometimes we kind of take all that for granted, and we don't realize that they're being impacted. We talk about trauma. Trauma-informed care is a new thing out there everybody's talking about, but our deputies and our correction staff deal with that trauma on a day-to-day basis. And today we're talking about the training that our deputies are now going to go through to enable them to be, obviously a better deputy out there, but more than that, a better person, to enhance the quality of life that our deputies enjoy. It's not lost on me that we have one of the highest divorce rates of any profession out there. And so we want to try to do something about that. And this wellness initiative we kicked off, I think it's going to do wonderful things for our community, particularly again for the Leon County Sheriff's Office All-In initiative.
Right, high divorce rates, even suicide rates within law enforcement. And so when we look at what we're doing here with this initiative, it really is a game changer, I feel like. We had an executive session where our guest who's joining us on the day presented to the command staff of the Sheriff's Office. And it was, there are very few of those types of sessions that you kind of walk away with numerous aha moments. I could sit here and talk about those. What was your reaction?
Well, it was obviously, for me, it was something that we absolutely need to get our people trained and to understand. You talked about it just a moment ago, Shauna, when you talked about the suicide rate. That has always been one of the hidden secrets of law enforcement. We don't talk about the number of deputies that take their own lives. And to now have this tool of training in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, where we're now sitting down and creating buddy systems so we can talk about our issues. We can get this training where we're talking about the courage, the fact that this is a profession that's one that's worthy of our citizens' engagement and our concern for our deputies. I think this is, for me, and hopefully for this community, a game changer in terms of relationships. We're talking about relationships between deputies, police officers in our community. This, I think, enhances those interactions. And I just hope that this community understands and really appreciates what we're doing in the Leon County Sheriff's Office.
Right, a direct correlation between their mental state and performance and how they react and how they're able to support our citizens. So it's a crucial element to the process of us becoming that world-class agency that you talk about all the time. And so this effort is called Blue Courage.
Blue Courage.
Which I think you could do several play on words there, but it's all about that guardian component of what we do in law enforcement.
Yes, we often talk about, the heroic stuff we do, and we take it out of context. And what we do now with Blue Courage is to bring all those things into context. The guardian piece of what we do in addition to the warrior piece, and we combine that and we try to educate that throughout, not only in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, but throughout our community. And I'm just looking forward to not only taking this Blue Courage initiative to a higher level in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, but make it a part of our community. We hope that we can have some dialogues, and the trauma and stuff that happens with our deputies happens in our community. And we need to make sure that there's some congruency between what we do and how we interact with our community here in Leon County.
All right, we're going to unfold this topic a little bit more here. Really excited to hear more from our guests today. So be sure to stick around. Coming up next, we're going to learn more about the heart and mind of the Guardian with our Blue Courage effort that's underway. But first, let's check in with Deputy McMillan with our Crime Tip Tuesday.
Hello, everyone. This is Deputy Shade McMillan, Public Information Officer for your Leon County Sheriff's Office, and here's today's Crime Tip Tuesday. Vehicle burglaries are more often than not a crime of opportunity. Here are some tips to prevent vehicle burglaries. Don't leave valuables or firearms in your car. Always park in busy, well-lit areas whenever possible. Never leave your keys in your vehicle, and always lock all doors and windows when you are away from your vehicle. Every night, follow the 9 p.m. routine, and remember, lock it or lose it.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Before you throw away those unused medicines,
those pills for your back pain or migraines,
just think for a minute.
When you throw them in the trash, they can become lethal in the wrong hands.
There are better ways to dispose of your unused meds.
There are lots of police stations, local pharmacies, and hospitals that are approved to take in unused meds
And dispose of them safely.
So they don't end up in the wrong hands. Our hands.
To find a medicine disposal site near you, visit www.safe.pharmacy.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
Joining me now is Michael Nealon, founder of Blue Courage, a leadership concept helping transform law enforcement agencies around the country. Thank you, Mike, for being here with us. I'm so excited about this session and what you've been training our deputies out there at the Leon County Sheriff's Office. Tell us more about what is that Blue Courage concept?
Yeah, well, you said the words transformation, and that's what Blue Courage is. It is a transformational educational process that optimizes our deputies, our police officers' ability to perform at the highest levels. You know, we all have tremendous expectations of our people, particularly our police officers, and we often fall short, not because we fall short as human beings, but because we fall short, we haven't done the internal hard work of preparation, building things like resilience and courage and respect into who we are and how we deliver our services, and that's what Blue Courage does.
Now, Michael, what is the mindset and why is that so important in terms of modern day policing?
Yeah, well, I would add to mindset, something that comes before that is heart set.
Heart set,
and one
okay.
of the things that we often ignore is we speak to the head and the intellect when policing is not an intellectual process. It's a process born in the heart. You know, we are servants. We are our brothers and sisters' keepers. And so one of the things that Blue Courage does is it literally inspires and opens up the heart so that we can perform with more empathy and compassion and more humanness without losing any of the warrior type spirit that we also have to bring because we are the profession of arms.
Well, Michael, you saw how excited our staff is with Blue Courage. But what are some of the, what's the feedback you're getting from some of the other agencies that have gone through the Blue Courage training?
Great question. We've trained from LAPD to NYPD to big departments to small departments all over the nation and even beyond our shores. And we are getting endless stories of human transformation and everything from I'm talking to my children for the first time in 5 years, I've rekindled my relationship with my spouse, I have reinvigorated the love and the passion that I have for this profession, I'm reminded of why I raised my hand and took an oath. And it's literally resurrecting careers and having police officers and deputies recommit to their chosen calling.
Michael, just for a minute, we got about a minute left in this session, but what's been some of the feedback you've gotten from our deputies here locally?
Yeah, well, it's fascinating. Just yesterday being with your executive staff and today with your deputies who are learning to train this process, we see them light up when we start talking about things like the nobility of policing. And when we give different meaning to the words courage and bravery, for example, their spirits literally come alive, and you see it.
Well, that's fantastic. That's exactly what we're hoping to do. But talk to me just a second about what can we do and how can we transform the community as we do this within the Leon County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah, the thing that I love the most about Blue Courage is these are principles that are universal. They apply to regardless of our lot in life. They apply to all of us because these are the building blocks for human effectiveness. And so they apply to the community equally as they apply to us. We just put it in a policing context because that's what we know so well. But when we do the best and have the greatest community impact is when we train community alongside police officers and also government officials as well.
So what's the next step for us here locally?
Well, the next step is what we're working on this week, which is we touched the hearts of your executives yesterday. This week, we're now training your people to be able to teach this process and unroll it. You're eventually going to train all of your people, and then we're going to also be doing complementary things because it's not enough to just teach Blue Courage. You've got to support it and make sure it's sustainable and reinforced by leadership.
Thanks, Michael. We have more after the break, including exactly how They're working with our deputies. Stay with us.
Why? Why do we ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right? The answer to why defines who we are. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For my family.
For each other.
Because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting.
So why do you see safe? Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
In times of stress, such as quarantine, what goes on behind closed doors can be terrifying, but you don't have to suffer in silence. Help is here. Love is not controlling. Love is not frightening. And love is not violent. Love is respect. If you need assistance or just want to talk, we are here. Contact the Domestic Abuse Hotline at 800-500-1119 to speak to someone in your area. For more information, visit thedvcc.org.
I've been driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like that trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Every year, the Salvation Army serves nearly 30 million people in need. That's one person every second. So by the time you've finished watching this, 30 more lives will have been changed for good. All thanks to your donations.
We're back with Michael Neela, founder of Blue Courage, a game-changing leadership training for law enforcement. Michael, your team is working with our deputies. Tell us more about that training that's taking place.
Yeah, we're having a wonderful week that we just kicked off yesterday, where we are literally transforming the ability to teach Blue Courage to your people so that you can be self-sustaining within your own organization. Now you don't have to bring us in every time to do it. So literally we're exposing them to all the systematic process of growing and developing our deputies and our police officers to be the very best that they can be and to optimize their performance. And so this week they're experiencing the full Blue Courage course, and then we're going to conduct a 3-day train the trainer, where they are literally going to learn how to speak the language of Blue Courage, speak the language of leadership, and learn how to teach this to your own folks.
Okay. Now, you've done this a long time. What informed you to start this all going?
Fabulous question, because people always ask me, how did you begin thinking in this direction? And it's really a simple answer. I spent 30 years on my police department, and I have been now retired for 22. So I've been in this business for a little bit over 50 years in some way, shape, or form. But my biggest awakening came when I got promoted to sergeant, and I realized that the job had not equipped me to lead. It teaches me to be a police officer, but not to be a leader. And so I became a very passionate student of leadership and began to learn what is the process of growing and developing human beings to be effective regardless of the role that they play. And then, of course, I transferred that to policing because that's always been my passion. And now we've learned the language to teach. We've learned the mechanism to create this systematic process of strengthening our police officer and deputies so they can perform optimally.
Michael, one of the things that we focused on in Leon County Sheriff's Office is mental health. We put together a wellness component. We're also working externally with the people coming out of our detention facility. Talk to me about how does Blue Courage play a role in the mental health of our deputies in our community?
Yeah, and kudos to you for doing that, because this is very likely the most important initiative happening in policing today, is the awakening to that our people simply cannot perform at their best if they are in suboptimal health, or the term we use is depleted, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And Blue Courage is the only comprehensive approach to developing our people that I'm aware of. There's pieces that organizations do, training organizations do, but this is an educational process that involves our entire career, literally our entire lives. So we're literally teaching people, it sounds silly, but to live life. I spoke at a recent national symposium at the Chicago Police Department, and somebody asked us this question: what do we need to teach our police officers? I said, we need to teach them how to live life. We think that sounds so simple, but it's not. How do we deal with stress? How do we deal with the breakup of a relationship? Where do we discover our deepest courage? How do we rekindle the commitment to purpose and passion and the oath that we took? Those are not simple things.
Yeah, Michael, should this Blue training, we're getting it at the sheriff's office, at the back end, I like to think. Should this perhaps be in the training academies as opposed to us trying to catch it on the back end?
Another brilliant question. Blue Courage was actually designed to be embedded into a police academy and not to be taught, say, as a two-day course, but to be embedded and woven through every single topic that police officers are exposed to in an academy. But at the same time, we know that it serves police officers at the 3 and 5 and 7 and 10 and 15-year mark. We've even done Blue Courage for retired police officers. We called it Blue Courage Emeritus because when we leave this profession, we still struggle with life. Suicides are very endemic in retired police officers. We don't talk about that, as you said. So really, we should start it in the academy, and we should be supporting it and replicating it throughout a person's career.
Thank you, Michael. Just ahead, we kick off a series on Women's History Month, spotlighting women blazing the trail at the Leon County Sheriff's Office. Stay tuned.
In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music, and we talked. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic. Your honesty gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted in my own life.
And I wanted you to know, from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now, that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, in whatever you do.
Talk, they hear you.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
In times of stress, such as quarantine, what goes on behind closed doors can be terrifying, but you don't have to suffer in silence. Help is here. Love is not controlling. Love is not frightening. And love is not violent. Love is respect. If you need assistance or just want to talk, we are here. Contact the Domestic Abuse Hotline at 800-500-1119 to speak to someone in your area. For more information, visit thedvcc.org.
I'm Karen Bodiford, and I'm the Director of the Records Management Division here at the Leon County Sheriff's Office. And I've been sworn here for 40 years as a law enforcement officer. So worked for 6 sheriffs through the years. I started in 1980 as a deputy and worked a deputy sheriff, crime prevention deputy, sergeant in uniform patrol, training sergeant, detective sergeant, detective in homicide, and lieutenant in uniform patrol. I was the training commander for a while, and then was promoted to captain and retired in 2006 as the captain of the and bureau commander of the Internal Affairs Division. So it was a long career, 26 years, and I was the first woman to be promoted up through the ranks. There were several women here when I got here, but from deputy sheriff up through captain, I was the first. There have always been challenges and obstacles, and I think in the beginning, in the early years, of course there were more of them. All the women at the time had those obstacles, and you just had to do your job. I think we had to be maybe a little bit better. The culture here hadn't seen us a lot before. Some of the obstacles and challenges were because of the culture at the time. Women were new, and I don't think the existing structure really knew how to deal with us that much. Some of the challenges were a product of that culture. You know, some were small challenges, like there were no women's sized uniforms. They weren't made for women. There was no equipment that was designed for women, like a bulletproof vest. No, just weren't made for women. Those are some of the smaller ones, and then you have some of the larger ones, like when I graduated from the academy, I had my certification and I had my resume, and I went out looking for a job, and I went to a local sheriff in the Big Bend and to apply for a job, and I went into his office and asked him for a job, and he looked at me and he said, "Well, little lady, we only have one woman, and she fulfills our criteria for federal funds, and I ain't looking for another one." And I left that office, and I think it was at that moment that in my head it was game on. I did it because I loved the job. I wanted to excel in the job. I wanted to, for instance, being promoted to sergeant, I wanted to be able to do that job to assist others, to train, to be of service. And you can be of service not only to the community, but you can be of service to the people here coming up. The purpose of law enforcement, or the purpose of the sheriff's office, is really to get out and touch the people. It is to be in the community. It is to protect the community, to serve the community, and that's been a constant. Now, how we do that changes with technology, with a changing community. You have to keep your finger on the pulse of the community, and you have to change with the community. But the mission to be of service to the community has been the same. So have we changed? Yes. Has the profession been more accommodating to women? Yes. But the mission is, I think, is still the same.
I drive 65,000 miles each year in my bus. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. You don't want to be in the blind spot of a 40,000-pound bus when I have less than a second to react. I do what I can by changing lanes and taking turns slowly. It really helps when people look out for me too. Give me room to operate safely. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Be part of the solution. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups. Find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. And Sheriff, of course, March is Women's History Month. And, you know, I think there's a lot when we talk about women's history, but when we talk about in law enforcement, there have been some real strides made over the years.
Yeah, I can go back to Sergeant Van Meter, started at the Tallahassee Police Department back in the 70s. and what she went through to be a police officer, as a female police officer. She paved the way for so many others, and I'm sure with our people here at the Leon County Sheriff's Office, Karen Botafoot, I know that she pushed through with a lot of changes, and the environment had to change because she was there. And those persons like Karen and others who sacrificed so much to come in this profession, to be pathfinders, to break that curtain, I have so much respect for what they do and what they've gone through. And I'm so happy we're highlighting that during this month. So thank you for doing that, Sean.
Absolutely. And Karen's story is so interesting because she started out on the law enforcement sworn side, and now she's back with us in our records department on the civilian side. So what a wealth of knowledge she is.
Absolutely. She's a walking testament to, for any of us, to what you can achieve and how you can live a life that's dedicated to service. Long before, after you retire, she came back and with us doing some great things, and I'm just awed by her and others who sacrificed for so many years and continues to come to work each and every day with a smile on their face, hoping to make this community better.
Yeah, and all this month we'll be featuring females within the Leon County Sheriff's Office, so really looking forward to seeing more of those stories. And then, of course, Blue Courage. I think this is really, we can't say it enough, it's kind of cliche, but it's a game changer. I think it's an opening up the mindset of our deputies.
Really excited about not just Blue Courage, but the whole concept of our having a wellness component in the Leon County Sheriff's Office that speaks to, one, how much we care and how important every employee is in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, and the tremendous job that they do, but understanding too that there are so many stressors out there, particularly now when at any turn you will have a camera in your face, and on traffic stops. People will look at it from traffic stops going, well, you know, that's the deputy, he's walking up to me, he shouldn't have any concerns. Well, I'll tell you what, walking up to a car at 2 o'clock in the morning, not knowing exactly who you're going to confront, that has a toll on you after some time. So I'm really excited about our putting this together. And it's all about keeping our deputies safe and keeping this community safe. When they're safe and when they're wholesome and they're out there doing a good job, that means this community is wholesome and is safe. So I'm really excited about what we're doing and the progress we're making with our all-in wellness initiative.
Sheriff, we are so grateful for your vision. It's a really good direction we're headed in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you all for joining us for another episode. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday for more with Leon County Today.